DeSoto and the DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life. And now, here he is, the one, the only...
Well, here I am again with $1,500 for one of our couples, and if any of them say the secret word, they'll win an extra $100. The word tonight is, what is it, George?
Hand.
How do you spell it?
H-A-N-D.
That's right. George, who's first?
Well, Groucho, Miss Marianne Booth and Mr. Ralph Yack are waiting to talk to you, Groucho. So, folks, you go in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Let's say the secret word, and you each get an extra $50. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Ralph Yack and Marianne Booth, huh? Marianne, where are you from?
I was born in Chicago, Illinois.
Which one of you said that, huh?
I did. I was born in Chicago, Illinois.
Oh. You always had a subterranean voice like that?
No. I used to be a soprano.
Really? Oh, no, really? Well, how did it happen?
Well, I was taking singing lessons and I strained my voice.
Oh.
And I woke up and one morning I couldn't speak very well. And this is the result.
Oh. I'm sure your voice has caused considerable comment. What do people have to say about it as a rule?
Well, sometimes my boyfriends will call up, you know, and they'll hang up because they think there's a man in my apartment.
Well, do they call back again when the man is gone?
Well, I never had a man in my apartment.
Oh. Well, that's your problem. I don't think I can help it. Now then, who are you? And if you're a soprano, I'll know we've just got another normal show tonight.
My name is Ralph Yack.
What is your handle, partner?
Ralph Yack is my name.
Ralph Yack. What kind of a name is that? Are you a yak from Tibet?
It's a Turkish name.
Are you an ordinary yak or a yak?
No, it's a Turkish name. Don't mean anything, but in American it means I talk too much.
Well, did you talk a lot in Turkey?
Well, yes and no.
Well, that's a good answer. Certainly baffling. Now, are you Turkish, Ralph?
I am.
What part of Turkey are you from? I always get?
I am from Istanbul,
Goes
Turkey.
over the fence last?
Istanbul, Turkey.
Istanbul?
That's right.
You must have been there when you were a young man, Ralph. How did you
I was
like
there
the Turkish girls? Did you like the Turkish
Very
girls?
much. I did like them very much. They're a little too fat, but they're very nice.
Well, why are they fat in Turkey?
Well, the food is so delicious, they like to eat too much. They stuff themselves.
Mm-hmm. How did you meet Mrs. Yack?
Well, I met
Were you yakking it up?
Yeah, a little bit. I met Mrs. Yack. I used to have a beautiful flower shop at the corner of Adams and Vermont at the time. And
oh, this isn't Yack and the Beanstalk, is it?
She used to go to school, you know, and I used to give her a rose every night.
You gave her a rose every night? She went to night school?
Well, she used to go by my flower shop, and I gave her a rose every night. And finally, a friend of mine...
I don't understand this. What were you doing? Did you stand in front of the flower shop all day?
Well, I used to look at the girls going by, you know. So a friend of mine told me if I want to meet a nice girl. So I says, okay. So he took me over there. Who you think I meet? I meet the very same girl. I give her a rose every night. And
then you finally married her?
Finally, I married the girl. I'm very happy.
Sneaky way to get your flowers back, wasn't it?
I'm very happy.
What kind of a courtship did you have, Ralph?
Very short one.
That's a very strange name for a Turk, isn't it, Ralph? Huh?
Well...
You say you had a brief courtship? Why was it so
very short one.
Why was it so short?
Every time I wanted to go out with her, why, the old man used to stick the boys in the car. He says...
What old man?
Her father.
Oh.
Her father and her mother. Used to put them in the car all the time. Every place I go, the kids had to be in the car all the time.
How old were these kids?
Well, they were small, about 10, 12, 11.
And how many of them were there?
There were 3.
How about when you wanted to kiss her? Did you have to choose up sides? Or?
Well, I had to find some kind of excuse with the kids, you know.
Well, like what?
Well, I says, what happened when I dropped something in the car and they had to bend down or something so I can kiss her.
I'd like to go on talking, but the time has come to play You Bet Your Life. You selected music. Now, these are all top tunes of the last 20 years. Remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, you can start with 10 all the way to 100.
You want to start with 80?
$80? All right, Johnny Mercer and Richard Whiting wrote this song. Now, you give me the title.
You're just too marvelous for words.
Too marvelous for words is accurate.
Well, you're on your way. You have $180 now.
Now, what do you want to try?
70?
70 $? All right, what is the name of this song? Play, Jack.
I'll dance at your wedding.
You will?
Yeah, I'll
You're
dance
a little
at your
late,
wedding.
but I'll dance at your wedding is right. Huh?
You now have $250.
Now, what do you want to try?
What are we trying? 60?
60.
60.
All right, Meredith Wilson wrote this song. Let's see if you can identify it.
You and I. You and I.
That's right. You and I is right.
You and I.
You now have $310.
What do you want now?
Oh, what do we want? 50? 50.
$50. This is the Rodgers and Hart song from On Your Toes. You tell me the title.
There's a small hotel.
There's a big motel. That's right.
No, I didn't
Oh,
say that.
And you wind up with $360. We have some high school students, Groucho. They're Ardith Smith and Douglas Hopper. Folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Say the secret word, and you each get an extra $50. It's a common word, something you see every day. Douglas Hopper and Ardith Smith. Well, you're nice-looking youngsters. And Ardith, since I'm curious about your name, I'll start with you. Is your name a combination of two other names?
No, my mother wanted something different, so she made up that one.
My mother wanted something different, too, and by gravy, she got it. Huh? How old are you, Ardith? 42?
No, I'm 16.
16, sweet 16. I remember when I was 16. I was 53 at the time. Where are you from, Ardith?
I was born in Glendale, and then I
Glendale?
moved... Yes.
Oh. Are you related to Casey Stengel?
No.
Do you know him?
No.
You ever seen him?
No.
You know who he is?
No.
What a wasted life you've had. Huh? Well, I kind of lost interest in you already, Ardith. Where are you from? Glendale, huh?
Yes.
Now, how about your activities in school, Ardith? What are your main interests? Football players?
No.
No? Well, what? You're a girl, aren't you? Weren't you ever interested in a football player?
Yes, I was interested in last year's captain.
Last year's football player?
Yes.
What about this year's football captain? Are you interested in him? After all, you don't wear last year's clothes or buy yesterday's newspaper.
Oh, he's already going steady.
You investigated this?
Oh, yes.
And your name is Douglas Hooper?
Hopper,
Well, how old are you, 42?
18.
18. I never was 18. I went from 17 to 100. What kind of work do you do, Doug?
Oh, I don't work, Groucho. I'm a senior at Glendale High School.
Oh, yeah, a student, eh? Well, what kind of things are you interested in school?
Oh, I like all sorts of things. I particularly like athletics, swimming and track, football, archery, things
Track,
like
did you say?
that. Track.
Oh, track. Well, are you going into professional football?
No, it'd kill a little fellow like me.
Well, so what, as long as you make money. How do you feel about Ardith here? I mean, would you be interested in a girl who's been tossed aside by last year's football player?
Well, you know, those football players, pretty big boys.
I think you got an A in cowardice at college, huh? Well, you're very nice youngsters, and you're far too sharp for me, and it's been fun talking to you. And the time has come now to try your luck at winning some money.
In the race for the $1,500, the first couple won $360, and the secret word is hand.
But you selected American history, and that's a pretty dirty trick for two kids that are in college. Remember, the more the question's worth, the harder it is. Now, your partners, now talk it over. What do you want to start with? How much?
100.
$100. That the President of the Continental Congress was first to sign the Declaration of Independence. Who was he? Come on, kids.
Thomas Jefferson.
No.
How'd we do?
No. It was John Hancock.
Well, you still have $50, however.
Now, what are you going to go for?
90.
All right. What was the name of the famous orator who opposed Abe Lincoln in numerous debates? He was nicknamed the Little Giant.
Stephen Douglas. Go ahead. Stephen Douglas.
Well, you finally got around to the right one, huh? Stephen Douglas is correct.
You now have $140.
For $80, is that what you want, $80? Yes. What date is carved on Plymouth Rock? It commemorates the year the Pilgrims settled Plymouth Colony.
1609.
1620.
Well, you now have $70.
What do you want? 70, all the way down to 10. Little ones are
70.
easy. 70? What president was known as Old Hickory? He's also on the $20 bills.
Jackson.
Andrew Jackson is right. Glad you won that.
And you wind up with $140. Groucho, we have Nona Morton waiting to talk to you, and her partner is a special guest, one of America's all-time great Olympic stars, Dr. Sammy Lee. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Say the secret word, and you each get an extra $50. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Sammy Lee, glad to see you.
Glad to see you, too, Groucho.
Glad to see you. In case there's anybody who doesn't know this fella, he's one of our greatest Olympic diving champions.
Thank you.
I thought you were in the Army. Aren't you usually introduced as Major Sammy Lee?
Yes, Groucho, up until 1st of November 1955, I was known as Major Sammy Lee, and I resigned after serving 11 years in the Army and decided to go into private practice in Santa Ana, California.
And now your name is Nona Morton, huh?
That's right, Groucho.
Nona Morton. Where are you from, Nona?
I'm from the Ozarks, the Queen City of the Ozarks, Springfield, Missouri.
Somebody out there from Duluth. Well, have you lived in Springfield all your life?
Well, about all I can find out, Groucho. I've never been able to get my birth certificate. Maybe I just was hatched out in one of those trees down there in the Ozarks.
Well, do you know what kind of a tree it might have been? A chestnut tree? Could you give us some idea of your age, Nona?
Well,
It's rather a delicate question, but...
How old do you think I would be?
Well, how many rings were there on the tree, huh? Sammy, let's find out some things about you. How tall are you?
I'm 5 feet 1 3/4 tall, Groucho.
Which Olympics did you win? 48 or 52?
Well, I was lucky, Groucho. When I finished medical school at University of Southern California, I made a comeback at the old age of 28 and won them in London in 1948. And also, I wanted to see if I were lucky the first time, and I tried again in 52 and was lucky again. Won them both times.
You're just modest, that's all, Sammy. What would you say was the highlight of your athletic career?
Well, I'd say two things stand out in my mind. One was winning the James E. Sullivan Award for the Outstanding Amateur Athlete in America during the year of 1953, which incidentally was the first time a non-Caucasian ever got this award in 25 years. And the second highlight was when Harold Howland of the State Department called and asked if I wanted to be one of America's sports ambassadors to Southern India. One of the little girls came up and said, "You're the funniest looking American we've ever seen."
Well, of course, I never got to India.
I didn't have your picture in my wallet, so...
Well, people who have enough money to have a wallet rarely have my picture. Did you visit Korea on this trip?
Yes, I did.
Now, what happened there?
Well, I got to meet my father's good friend, President Syngman Rhee, And when I got there, I tried to speak Korean to him, and he just laughed. He said, "Sammy, you better speak English because you have a terrible Brooklyn accent and you're Korean."
Well, could you say something for us in Korean?
Yes, 안녕히 하십니까.
Well, that definitely is not a Brooklyn accent, Sammy.
It's lousy.
Yes, it is. It sounds like the northern part of South Carolina. Well, Sammy, you're a rare species. You won 2 Olympic championships for the United States. You served 11 years in the Army, and on top of that, you won a lot of friends for us in Asia. That's a record that's pretty difficult to beat, and give me 5.
Fine, thanks a lot.
Now, Nona, let's get back to you for a moment. Up to now, I only know that there are many rings around your tree trunk. Now, what interest do you have down there in Missouri? Do you raise mules?
Well, no, Groucho. We have mules in Missouri, but I don't raise mules. I raise a few little old 3-pound tomatoes in my backyard. 3-pound tomatoes, big as cantaloupes. And I was honored tomato queen.
How big are the cantaloupes that you raise?
As big as my 3-pound tomatoes.
You say you're the tomato queen of the Ozarks?
That's right, Groucho.
Well, sooner or later, everybody shows up on this show. Well, how'd you get to be the tomato queen? Are you the head tomato?
Well, actually, all I did was just grow some little old 3-pound tomatoes.
Oh.
Right in my...
These tomatoes are not getting any younger, are they? Huh?
Right in my backyard.
You have a big backyard?
No, just a small backyard, but big tomatoes.
Oh. Well, there's no point in shouting. I'm just seeking information, that's all. Well, how do you get them so big? Do you take a cranberry and blow it up with a bicycle pump?
My tomatoes won in all classes at the Ozark Empire Fair last summer because I learned how to grow tomatoes.
Those little old tomatoes, you mean, huh?
Yes, and they weren't weighed on Grandpa's fish scale either.
No. Your grandpa do a lot of fishing?
Well, Grandpa fishes. I grow tomatoes.
What's another reason that these little old tomatoes are so big, Nona?
Well, build up my soil, one thing, and then I have good friends. I have bees in my spring blooms.
Well,
not exactly.
Could you amplify that statement? Just what have the bees got to do with it? I'm not really that naive. I'm just pretending that.
Well, Groucho, these horticulture experts will tell you that bees will not pollinize tomato blooms.
No.
Now, who am I to argue with the experts? All I know is...
Pollinize is a euphemism, obviously, isn't it?
All I know is what I saw right in my own backyard. And them bees was for sure and certain doing a little something on my tomato bloom.
And you still had these bees in your blooms, huh?
Well, if you say so, yes.
Well, you don't have to leave the backyard at all to have a hot time, huh? Well, I'm loath to break up this conversation, Nona. And Sammy, you're not only an inspiration to the youth of America, but to their mothers and fathers as well, and we need more men like you. Now, let's play You Bet Your Life.
In the race for the $1,500, the first couple still leads with $360.
You selected small towns and cities of the United States. What do you want to start with? 100? All right, here are the towns and cities. You tell me the state. Crookston, Thief River Falls, St. Cloud, Pipestone, Blue Earth, and Duluth.
Minnesota.
Minnesota is right.
You're on your way. You have $200.
Now what?
90, Colonel.
Tell me what state these places are in. Pine Bluff, Van Buren, Blytheville, Fort Smith, Jonesboro, and Bright Star.
Arkansas.
Arkansas is right.
You now have $290.
Nona, you are really a humdinger. Now, what do you want, 80?
Yes.
What state are these towns and cities? Kingfisher, Enid, Chickasha, Lawton, Muskogee, and Slick.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
You now have $370.
Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. You going for 70? Yes. Here are the towns and villages. Tell me the state. Muleshoe, Nacogdoches, Waxahachie, Floydada, Leakey, and Throckmorton. What is the state?
Throckmorton.
Throckmorton, Waxahachie, Nacogdoches, Muleshoe, Floydada, and Leakey.
Texas?
Texas is right.
And you wind up with $440.
Now, how did you know that was Texas?
Well, there couldn't be any place else to have those kind of cities.
This is a magnificent tribute to the Lone Star State.
And this means that with your $440... They are,
Let's have the winning couple.
Mrs. Morton and Dr. Sammy Lee right in here. Doctor.
Happens every time.
In World War I, the outstanding flyer on the side of the Allies was Eddie Rickenbacker. For $1,500, who was the celebrated German ace of World War I? He was credited with downing 80 of our planes.
Darren Von Darren Von Rich.
Got a hat?
Darren Von Rich.
All right, what's the answer you've decided upon?
Richthofen.
What is it?
Richthofen.
Well, that's close enough. It's Richthofen.
Oh,
But,
Yeah!
that's right. You win $1,500, and how much in the quiz, George?
Well, they went all the way in the quiz, $440.
Which gives them how much?
$1,940.
Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.